What you know about the Little Big Cast? Mm-mm-mm.
Usually we do a full episode where Jeff and I will talk about the things that we're doing, and Robin and Rachel join us, and then we do this every Wednesday that we can. And then today, because it's finals and there's a lot of other work going on, we're just gonna jam. We use this as an excuse to not work. That's what I'm doing. I don't know about you. That's what I'm doing.
Yep. I think real quick, let's just since we're here, let's just go through some basic news.
Yeah.
Let's get anything that's happened that's relevant this week out of the way. Let's see here.
I'll tell you what's relevant in my week. I have not yet graded anything, and grades are due on Tuesday. So as a professor, that's, I got like a weekend.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. I had sushi last night, so that was good. I had two holiday parties. One was for the family, and I used the company party to get out of the family party.
Nice. So Uncharted 4 has officially launched a full co-op mode today.
Oh, wow.
It's a free update.
So is that co-op through the gameplay, the original gameplay, or is that co-op through?
No, it looks like it's 50 different waves. So what it says here is Naughty Dog is rolling out a free new co-op mode for everyone. It's fleshed out, features 50 waves, and you can play solo or online with up to 2 other people.
Oh, right.
And it's and they're waves, not like story driven. Well,
yeah, it doesn't sound like story driven. It sounds like it's cooperative. So I guess it would be
just jamming in that world with.
It's horde mode basically.
Okay, yeah.
It's essentially a horde mode. On top of that, they've added 2 more free multiplayer maps, and it sounds like they're still going to be coming out with additional content. So that looks cool. In addition to that,
Most people still use doorknobs.
so one cool thing today, they have released a video today for the new PlayStation Platinum wireless headset.
Oh.
And apparently Naughty Dog has actually been a big part of the creation of that headset, and they are focused on bringing 3D audio to the headset. So currently, when we talk about audio, and especially like when we talk about like 7.1 surround sound,
Right.
that's on a horizontal plane.
Right. That's hard to do
So
unless it's.
when you talk about 7.1, what you're getting is a horizontal plane of sound. So you can hear in front, to the side, behind you.
That's about it. Right. Right.
What 3D audio is bringing to gaming specifically is the ability to hear verticality as well. So you're going to have a hearing spectrum on the vertical scale. So, for example, when you're
How
playing
do you do that
Uncharted,
with 2 ears? I mean, not with 2 ears, but yeah, 2. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
So in Uncharted, for example, the example that the video uses is when Nate, and this is fairly early on in the game, so it's not a spoiler, but Nate and Elaine are married.
What? No, I
Nate
play. It's
is
okay. I played that.
upstairs in the attic, and Elaine at one point calls him and says, "Hey, you need to come downstairs."
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Get down here.
So you
So
hear
with
her
3D
up.
audio, it's going to sound like she's below you, not behind you, not in front of you, not to the side of you. It's going to actually sound like she is below you, and so I don't know the specifics of the technology, but it sounds really cool, and I'm interested in seeing.
Well, for VR, I mean, that just sounds like a super fun.
Oh,
way to
for
do
sure. Yeah, I
VR.
think where VR is concerned, it'll be huge.
Like with Valkyrie and some of those others.
Yeah, for Valkyrie, that'll be a huge help. Although, if you really think about Valkyrie, it's probably a mistake to have. It's probably a mistake to have any audio at all, right? I mean, in space, if you're in the vacuum of space, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't hear anything at all. No, it's
So the truth is, Valkyrie should be the most boring
silent
game in the
game.
world.
No music.
From an audio perspective.
maybe inside of your ship. Here's what it is: inside of your ship, you can jam in. You put in your
Plug
mixtape,
headphones
right?
in. Yeah,
But
well, so then you're like,
visually, it can see explosions, and so it's recreating the sound for you,
Yeah,
right?
it
So it's just like,
analyzes your environment and creates the sounds.
It's
so
like
you
I
don't
think it
get
would sound
bored.
like this. Yes, you don't get bored. That's precisely why. So I died again. Should we step out and do something else?
Yeah,
What do you want
jump
to?
jump into Resogun.
I think I have it on here.
In other news, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will apparently have a single-player campaign. This is coming from UK IGN. Let's jump in here and see what they're saying. 404 page not found, so maybe that's not real.
So
That's always fun.
it was a big joke. It doesn't happen that way.
Elite Dangerous has been confirmed this week for the PlayStation 4. The trailer has been released. It's slated currently for an early 2017 release, and it sounds like it's going to be Pro supported as well. So if you have a PlayStation Pro, you can look forward to that.
Elite Pro. Now where can I see? I want to know. I have this locked down to 1080i just so that we can push it to there. I wonder where I get that choice to see 4K.
Here's some sad news.
No.
So are you familiar with Crytek?
Yes.
So they make the game Crysis, which I'm a big fan of. So there was some controversy, like it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, where Crytek employees weren't being paid. Like
I remember that.
Weren't being paid. They were on a pay freeze or something.
Right.
Apparently that's happening again.
Okay, that's a note to self. I wouldn't stick through. Like if once it happened, I don't know that.
So complaints recall Crysis publisher faced in 2014. Yeah, so about a year and a half ago. Crytek is once again facing complaints that it isn't paying its workers, with some alleging that they have not seen a paycheck in more than a month. This is crazy. Like, I don't know how you justify. I mean, first of all, it sucks for the guys working on the game. I feel bad for the people that are doing the development and working on this. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, if you're not getting paid, if your company can't figure out like how to pay you, it's time to go.
Right.
Like, if you're talented enough to work at Crytek and make the games and do what they do, like
you should be able to go.
You should be able to move on.
Yeah.
If they can't afford to pay their people, they shouldn't be. I don't know. That's just something that pisses me off. Let's see. Are you switching to 4K?
Yeah, I just moved it to 4K so I could see, but then I bet I'm gonna have to do.
So they won't be able to hear it then. Yeah.
No hearing.
That's okay. I'll make the
I have to
sounds.
do.
Pew pew pew.
They'll hear it if I turn it up on that. I'm gonna jump out of it real quick. How do I go out?
No, do that.
Well, let's do this one, and then I'll go back in. And I think if it recognizes the 4Ks, then we can play the Ks of the 4.
Cool.
That's the hope.
Oh, this is interesting. Here's a fun piece of news. 5 Ubisoft studio executives collectively fined more than $1 million for insider trading.
Like they find it. Oh, they're fined.
They're
fined for insider trading. Wow. That's a lot of fines.
Today, so it says today, Auditoire des Marchés Financiers, which regulates the French stock market, announced $1.27 million in fines for 5 Ubisoft studio executives regarding insider trading. The charges accuse the executives of selling stock right before prominent Ubisoft games like Watch Dogs were to be delayed.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Those being fined include Yanis Mallet, the Ubisoft Montreal CEO, Francis Ballette, the Vice President of Corporate Affairs, Christine Burgess, the Worldwide Studio Executive Director, Olivier Perry, Ubisoft Montreal Vice President of Executive Operations, and Damien Moret, Brand Development Director.
So at what point does it become like insider trading? When it, like, yes, if I knew I was about ready to launch something, I think I'd have every right to be like, I'm going to change things.
If you knew you were going to delete something.
Right, delete something.
Like, it's like
that's just a perk of being able to like work in that biz.
Stuff. It's.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if they were giving that information out, right
to special.
So let's go through this.
Firms.
It says if you can read French, you can check out the sanctioned document for yourself. Here, we asked Ubisoft for comment, and they issued this statement. Today, AMF announced a decision against 5 of our team members in Canada and France, with whom the AMF charges with having sold Ubisoft shares while in possession of privileged information related to the probability of postponing one of Ubisoft's games. Ubisoft acknowledges that the AMF's decision, but continues to assert that their people involved acted in good faith. So it sounds like Ubisoft is standing by them, saying that they didn't do anything wrong.
Right. So it's kind of like.
I mean, if you knew, I mean, I don't know.
I would see. There's something about that I feel like it's
ethical side. Like if I knew, hey, this game is going to have to delay, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing we as a company can do. It is going to delay, and I have a lot of stock in the company. Like,
I'm okay saying goodbye, like, or like dumping a little bit of stock because why
don't
not
want to take a hit?
Why not? That would be, I don't know, like, that's. It feels like that's your prerogative. Like, you're in there. I think I agree with you that it would be far more ethically questionable if they had it and were telling certain firms, or they were telling like brokers, hey, we're about ready to delay this, unload that stock for your people, right? That's different than I'm directly involved with this decision.
You ever heard whose stand-up was it? When he's talking about, was it Cat Williams was talking about Martha Stewart going to jail, and he's like, Martha Stewart went to jail for telling some friends about stock that was going to be sold. He's like, in my where I grew up, that's called a hookup. He's like, we're sending people to jail for a hookup.
For a hookup, I'm helping you out. Have you seen her show with Snoop yet?
No, I've
right,
seen
it's just
little
like,
clips of it,
yeah, it's just like that. It's weird.
The other thing he goes on to say, he talks about was the rapper, the female rapper that went to jail, Lil Kim.
Lil Kim went. Oh, I don't know.
He's like, Lil Kim went to jail for not snitching. He's like, your mama told you not to snitch. He's like, we grow up teaching our kids not to snitch on each other. She says I'm not going to snitch and she goes to jail. What are we teaching our children?
Is this 4K? I can't tell.
I don't know. I kind of assume that this is a game where you probably wouldn't be able to tell so much that it's 4K. Anyway, I think that's
Pretty
interesting. I wonder what the comments on this piece say.
It's really interesting.
Another piece of news, Horizon Zero Dawn release date has been brought forward.
Wait a minute.
That doesn't happen.
That never happens. Like, how far? Like, way forward or just a little bit forward?
Just a couple days.
Couple of days. Why would you do a couple of days? Just because you knew something else was coming in the pipe? Like, you didn't want to compete? I'll play this forever.
Okay, so someone did an explain like I'm 5. So this is why it's illegal. Have stock in a company. Number 1, have stock in a company. Number 2, no confidential information about that company that when released will negatively affect company stock value. 3, sell that stock before the information is released. Because of this, many companies usually have trade windows where they let everyone know that it is okay to sell stock.
Trade windows. That's their answer? Like, it's okay to sell.
So if you're an executive and you have massive amounts of stock in a company that you are a part of,
right?
They have trade windows where they say, hey, everyone, it's safe to sell, buy, or trade. But that also kind of defeats the purpose of the market, right?
Right. Then that's an interesting way to get around that. Okay.
If you know something bad is going to happen to a company and you have stock invested in it, even if you overheard it by accident, you minimize your losses. You don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs waiting to lose millions of dollars.
Right.
Are you supposed to just gamble when buying and selling stock? Are you not supposed to use knowledge that you've acquired to make wise investments? I don't understand it, although I'm sure there's a good reason for the laws being in place.
It's hard to understand.
So they're basically saying insider trading, if not penalized, can be used by people to abuse the system. The key is that using non-public information and abusing it is what really makes it wrong. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will never be in a position where I have inside
that's
information.
That's not ever a problem I'm going to have.
I'm not too worried about
I'm not
having
going to worry too much
information.
About it. Anyway, that's kind of the news.
We teach that in school, not the stock part.
I learned that in Billy Madison. The thing about business ethics is
I'm out. Boom.
Anyway, so I've been looking around for a while now for a
modded
solution. I've been looking for a solution
because you can't play claw style. Like, this is just.
I don't like playing claw style. It hurts
I
my
don't
fingers.
think I could do that.
My frustration has been, and this is something that we've talked about on the show. In fact, we could put this up. Like, let's save this and put it up as a Patreon content.
We could save that.
Like this
right.
whole whatever.
What we're about to do.
I've discussed several times on the show my frustration with the fact that we don't have a DualShock 4 Pro controller.
Right, it's very much vanilla style. You get
Sony
this.
made PlayStation 4
Right.
Pro controller, similar to the Xbox One Elite controller. That's been something that I've been frustrated with and have vented about several times on the show. And so I've been looking for alternatives. So let's talk briefly alternatives that exist in the gaming space.
We
You have
just didn't-
Scuff controllers.
Scuffs were really expensive. Real expensive.
Scuff, you're looking. I mean, probably the very cheapest that you could go with Scuff, where you can't remap buttons, you can't make changes. You're probably looking at $180
For a
Scuff
controller?
that would give you buttons or paddles on the back that you can use to jump or melee. Basically, you get to sub out your X and your O button. So you're looking at about $180 for the bottom of the barrel
Right.
solution. The problem is when you go in there and you start customizing your controller, it's really hard to not build out a controller that's below $250.
I could never spend that. I have the hardest time buying $50. I got this one on sale at Best Buy with this system because it was $39 or something. Like, it was on sale, and I was like, I'm gonna
bad.
get the second. So I cannot even imagine. Now, granted, I don't game every day, all day, but $250, let alone $180, I couldn't do that.
Right, and so that price point is going to be true for Scuff. It's going to be true for like Battle Beavers, Cinch Gaming.
We just
There
talked about
are
a new set that are coming out still. Are they with the
Yeah, so
sanctioned
you have
ones?
a Razer. There's a Razer and a Nikon. Two different
Nyko or
licensed from PlayStation
that's what it was.
controllers.
They were licensed, yeah.
So they're fully licensed controllers. The problem is, even with those ones, they're going to charge. Currently, they're being sold for 150 euros,
That's
which
wow.
is a lot
That is a lot.
American.
Yeah.
So USD, you're probably again in the $250 to $300 range. And so I've been trying to find an alternative to that because I really want to be able to use the paddles on the back of the.
No, see, yeah, I'm not a hardcore first-person shooter game guy, so I have no problem moving my thumb over to the buttons and hitting buttons. But you were saying that if this is your aim and this is your movement, you have
to
let go
take
of your
it off
aim.
the aim to jump and to move around. And so if you're playing FPSs with any kind of regularity, you definitely benefit from having the ability to click a button on the back to make your character
They have
jump.
extra fingers and not
Right.
doing anything.
So that has kind of put me on this search. And the other day I saw a conversation in Reddit where someone was like, "Oh, have you heard of this?" And it was so this is by a company called Collective Minds. They call it the Strike Pack FPS Dominator, which is
FPS Dominator. That's what it
yeah.
is.
So shortened, they just call it the Strike Pack.
There you go.
What camera are we on? This guy right there, right?
That's the big one.
So
Go ahead and take 8.
where are we at here? That guy right there. See that? Not
Nice.
well. It's kind of dark. Anyway, so this guy's $40 from GameStop or Amazon.
Which is a far cry from 180 or 200 something.
So and what's cool about it is it actually does a whole lot more than just add paddles to the back. So first of all, let's get the cons out of the way really quickly. It forces you to have a wired controller.
Okay. Because
in order to use this,
it's modded.
It has to be wired, and that is because it is remapping buttons within the actual little hub that attaches to the controller.
So it's changing what they do.
So basically, what it's doing is it will be able to say, okay, this trigger is going to now be mapped to X, O, square, whatever. You pick what it's mapped to, and you're going to be able to decide where it's mapped and how it works. The way that you apply it is actually super easy. So you just take your normal DualShock 4, you take your USB connector piece here, you connect the micro USB.
Same place you plug in your charger.
Same place you plug in your charger, and then you slide. There's a little grip right here that's going to go over the top and connect into the audio, the little speaker holes on the front of your DualShock 4. So it's going to come up. You heard it click. I don't know if you heard it click. You hopefully heard it click.
It was like that. It's like
but
that.
it just clicks right onto the controller, and then you've got paddles on the back. So you can see here,
which really gives your other finger something to do,
Right,
and your
it's
thumb
actually
can stay.
in a really great spot. Too.
Yeah.
So the way that I normally am holding a controller is, I mean, literally, I'm holding it just like this, and these two fingers fall right on it. And so, first thing it's going to do is give you the ability to map buttons to those triggers or to the paddles.
Right.
I'm new to this thing, so I'm not super familiar with how it all will work. But I know that it also has mods, which for most people would be considered cheating. It can run in a all mods off mode. So basically, when it's plugged in, if the lights in the back are white, it is mod free. And it's tournament ready. So you could actually use this in a tournament as long as the lights in the back are white, showing that you're not using any mods.
Interesting.
If they're blue, it means that you have mods active. And so some of the mods that are available with this mod pack, you have auto run, jitter fire, quick scope, drop shots, rapid fires. You have
Tell me about the scope thing. Like, it will compensate
you
for
have anti-recoil.
for recoil on it.
Basically, what it'll do is when you set up your anti-recoil, you turn it on and then you adjust the recoil to the gun. And so you'll hold down one of your configuration buttons, and then you'll adjust with L2 and R2. Okay, how much do I need to compensate for? And you'll shoot and you'll gauge how far it's going up, and the system or the pack will actually compensate for you and push your thumbstick signal for you. So if you're sitting there shooting and it's a high rate, let's say it's a high rate of fire auto rifle and it's kicking back hard, you're able to adjust it to where it's just a little laser beam and it's not moving at all.
Because it's not moving. Wow.
And it's compensating for you based on the weapon that you have attached. So if you were switching a loadout up, you would probably have to readjust that in order to not overly overcompensate,
uncoil,
right?
Decoil.
But it's cool.
That is kind of cool. I might even be able to play.
Yeah,
I could maybe do a game.
I'm gonna have to be very careful because like I wouldn't want to go into like a competitive setting and cheat. I'm not the kind of guy that would be doing that.
You're not a cheater.
But I am going to hop in and play around with it and see how it all works and get a feel for it. I'm very curious to see how it works. But
I love it.
that's it.
It's
And
so
what's
simple.
great about it is $40.
Right,
So,
yeah, great price.
And here's what's even better. So the Scuff controller charges.
Broke it.
We just broke it. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The Scuff controller comes with a 90-day warranty. This comes with a 1-year warranty. So if anything were to go wrong, if it actually is broken,
You spend that much money on something and not have like
Yeah, it's
a
only
full
90
like,
days.
we'll take care of you. 90
Yeah,
days?
90 days.
That
sucks.
sucks. A
And-
year is
and from
feels
what,
good, right?
From what I hear, most of the people that have it break, it's like day 96. It breaks, can't send it in, they're screwed.
That's the worst.
Where this has a full year that you're going to be able to go in and get it fixed for free. So it's pretty dope.
I can't believe how compact it is.
And it feels good, right?
Right. It feels like it's a
that's
part
what
of it.
surprised me. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like an ancillary product. Like
No.
it feels like it was made.
Yep.
I mean, it was made for this.
They
So-
still got a place to put your headphone jack. They've still got a place to. You got to be wired when you're using the mods, or any of it. But it does feel very good. It feels really
like
nice.
you don't have to push hard to get the paddles to interact. Looks like they're magnetized.
They're
right?
they're magneted, and I just pulled them off. Like they just yanked right off. But that's how I was. I was mostly curious of how they were getting the trigger buttons with a sideways squeeze. But that's it. The magnet allows it to rotate back and forth, stays in place, and then the actual little pokers go down inside of the. That's sweet. That's
Very, very
super
cool.
sweet.
So I'm excited to use it. I'll follow up with you guys on Wednesday of next week to kind of go over my impressions.
Yeah.
And how it went.
See what your KD ratio goes through the roof because now you're
I think
an
it'll take a
animal.
few days to get used to the to lose that muscle memory of X's and O's.
Right, that's true.
But I think it'll be good. I'm excited. I
got a mod. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the office. It is nothing like this. It puts a keyboard. It's one of those ones that puts a keyboard right here, so that when I'm lazy gaming on No Man's Sky, I can type in retarded names for my things that I find. I'll stop and be like, "This one's called Sugar Cookie," and then I'll go find another one and be like, "This planet's called Choco Monster," and I can just type it. That's what I got. But thanks for joining us. We're gonna have plenty of more entertainments and funds
Definitely.
in the future for the Little Big Cast crew. Oh, Master Dugong just made it on. What's up? It could make for some nice Rocket League aerials, he says.
Oh,
Think about that.
That's true.
You could really
You
like
can
mod
aim
that.
and then be boosting and like jumping.
Know exactly
without
where
having
you're
to
going.
Move your thumb off the stick. That's a great point.
$40 is worth that, right?
Normally I have to hit square to rotate the car. Yeah, so you could map square to one of these bottom buttons, and you wouldn't
rotate.
have to take your thumb off of the thumbstick.
You do everything you need to do and still pull off. That's cool.
And it's $40. So again, like that for me was the selling point. I was like, hey, even if I hate it,
Right.
it's $40 down the tubes. And my fear has been that hey, if I go get a scuff, I'm gonna hate it, and then I'm down $190
Right.
or
Right.
$250. So
I'm asking Santa. I'm just gonna ask him, see what he's got for me.
I was stoked. Again, you can get them on Amazon and GameStop. So I'm gonna be following up, and I'll let you guys know what I think.